Hello, today is September 2nd, 2018, and the time is 8:09 p.m. Got out for where I spend my weekends a few hours ago, and it's not that easy. Mentally and emotionally, it's very straining, especially knowing that I shouldn't be there. I've done nothing wrong. Now keep in mind, the trial began November of 2013, and the first plea deal was offered, which could have avoided all this that I'm going through, and I turned it down. Primarily because of all the peripheral stuff that was attached to my case that had nothing to do with it. And in the end, none of that peripheral stuff mattered. And putting aside the fact that I didn't do anything that I'm accused of.
Keep in mind, the now former officer added another false peripheral narrative about the female to the criminal trial, which had nothing to do with the alleged obstruction and alleged assaulting an officer. This tactic was used to prejudice the trial judge. If I was to have accepted the plea deal, it would be an admission of guilt to everything the now former officer stated, which would also include saying sorry. This would have included the false peripheral narratives about the female. Originally, I was not going to testify. However, this changed after the second time the now former officer testified. But it was too late when I did testify, as the trial judge already included the peripheral statements about the female when forming his opinion about me.
And putting aside the fact that I didn't do anything that I'm accused of. So the second plea deal was offered 15 months after. It was a 15-month adjournment. And after the former officer and the other officer testified, I was offered another deal. And again, I could have avoided everything, and I didn't. I said no. I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't do. And in, I think it was December of 2016, for sentencing, I could have avoided this by saying sorry. And the judge was very clear on, if I said sorry, then I wouldn't have any jail. And I said no. You know, this last lawyer had said to me to basically just finish this sentencing portion as quickly as I can and get out of town. But it just seems like everyone's just kind of like, forget it. You'll never win against these local police here. And it's very saddening to know that I had no recourse criminally. And as I said before, if you do fight back, you get charged and you get convicted for obstruction and assaulting a police officer. And if you don't fight back, you get charged and convicted for assaulting and obstruction a police officer. So what's the lesson learned? Now, I've spent a lot of money, sacrificed a lot over the past almost 6 years on dealing with this matter, and I'm left with nothing. And even if I want to say tomorrow everything is finished and leave, I can't. My vehicle has a lot of neglected maintenance, repairs and other repairs before I can consider going anywhere long distance, say cross country back home. And then there's the cost of fuel to get me there. I don't have that either. And I don't have any money to settle down somewhere and start all over. So basically, I'm stuck. And I've wanted to go back home since my plan was to go back home June of 2013. However, the month before, all this went down. Now everyone has said it's quite obvious that the local courts weren't going to go against the police. And this appears to be the only city in this whole country that police are never wrong. So it's just very disappointing, frustrating. And you can see in my other videos how my emotions go up and down as I try to deal with this reality, telling me that I have no chance with the civil. Sure doesn't help. That I have no chance with the civil. Sure doesn't help. So for everyone who in the men's rights movement and anti-feminist movement and making all these big speeches and writing books and videos and everything about the inequality for men and focusing on men being homeless. Well, you've just witnessed how a man becomes homeless. And if I can't make it, get my vehicle fixed up and make it back home and settle down to start all over again, to rebuild my life, what's left of it, I'm not going to have my vehicle, so I'm going to be up on the street without a vehicle or anything. And I suppose I'll be the next meme being posted, and everyone, talking about the stats, and I'm one of those stats now. It's a hard reality to grasp, and this is only a few months away. I am caught between a rock and a hard place with no way out. And all the money that I spent over the years and all the sacrifice that I and people behind me have made, I'll still find myself without a vehicle, struggling to get back home. And even if I made it back home, really have nowhere to go. And some more people that I know, because of the circles that I used to walk, they are, let's say, politically active and are in the judicial system one way or another. So since the news has broke that I wasn't granted leave with the Court of Appeal, conviction stays, and now I'm finishing my sentence. I suppose my friendship is not as strong as I thought. Anyway, just wanted to do a quick update, and here I am.
So you have an idea of who I am. Perhaps now it is more accurate to say who I was. I offer my career history in my almost 50 years. I worked in corrections, but not as a CO, while teaching martial arts, fitness instructor, freestyle fighter, personal and private security, and a nude model. I had a great career in law, which included a placement in offers prosecuting, during which time I supplied top public schools when I had time, simply because I enjoyed it. I continued volunteering much of my time and donating to different causes, to finally working in the mental health field, where I took my corporate skills to create a food program. The food program was for people on disability and offered free quality groceries directly from food distributors, taking the strain off of people donating. For me personally, this was my greatest accomplishment. I am no one special, nor am I boasting. I only wish for you all to see I've worked hard in my life, and I used to be a somebody. I have not always been a mental mess, just since this chapter in my life. Not everyone homeless is there because of a lack of effort in life. Sometimes it is purely by the hands of evil people.